Passan wrote that the Rays have received permission from Major League Baseball to explore a plan in which they would play early season home games in Tampa and the remainder of the year in Montreal. According to the report, the Rays would play its games very early in the city of Tampa in the early stages and end in Montreal and would be in place before the 2023 season. Rob Manfred was asked about it earlier today at the MLB owners' meetings. He would know about such things.
The Executive Council approved Tampa Bay going ahead to explore the possibility of a split season. The purpose of the split season would be to preserve baseball in Tampa, but improve the economics of the club overall by playing some of their games in Montreal. There is no commitment on the part of the owners to ultimately approve a plan. The permission that was granted was simply a permission to explore this alternative in an effort to strengthen a franchise that's performed great on the field, but continues to be pretty limited from an economic perspective.
Okay. You have the commissioner of Major League Baseball speaking on this today, Stephen Brunt, joining us in studio. 9 times out of 10, Steve, without the clip that we just ran, I would have said, all right, come on. Really?
Right.
More speculation out of Tampa, more speculation out of Montreal. We have seen this time and again. What is happening right now? How do you read this?
I think how I read this is the beginning of baseball coming back to Montreal. Now, wow. Look, I've been a skeptic up until a couple of years ago. I'm no longer a skeptic. This does not become public discussion accidentally. Jeff Passan doesn't write this accidentally. He's a great reporter, and this plan, of course, makes no sense. Like, let's start with that, right? Like, right. It makes no sense that no one is going to build a stadium for 40 games. Right. You know, Tampa, they don't want to build a stadium for 162. No one is going to build a stadium to host half a season, either the first half or the second half. Like, it's crazy. It's bizarre. But this is, you know, kind of throwing something out there for Tampa, saying, I guess, here's your last chance. We're serious. Now, you may have noticed that in the last little while, the mayor of St. Pete has sent out a statement, or gave a statement saying, look, we didn't give them permission to talk to Montreal, and we have a lease through 2027. So I'm not sure anything has changed in that sense. They still have a lease down there. There's going to be a legal fight over that lease. But I don't see any scenario where they wind up in Tampa beyond the end of that lease.
Right.
Now, whether they can get out earlier or not, I don't know. But, you know, I can't come up with Tampa suddenly saying, yes, we have had all these stadium plans crash in various counties and various jurisdictions. We haven't been able to get the money. But now that you've said, hey, we'll give you 40 games from April to whatever, June, somebody's saying, yes, that's a great idea. So I think it's dead in Tampa.
Never mind what the players' union would say about playing 40 games one place and 40 games in another place, because they would seem to have a say. But you're right, this 2027 lease is everything. And if, in fact, Montreal has this, does it make it easier to build a stadium in Montreal? Because there's 2 stadiums, or at least Rob Manfred suggesting they could play in 2 new stadiums in 2 different cities, seems ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
But I just don't see this. To put a shovel in the ground, either in Tampa, which is highly unlikely, or Montreal, what you would need more than the promise of half a season, right? More than 40 games. You're going to spend $900 million, let's say, for the sake of argument, on a stadium. You have to know you're getting a team.
Right.
And I think the folks in Montreal, Stephen Bronfman, Mitch Garber, that group, have their ducks lined up. I think they have the real estate lined up. I think they know where it's going to go. I think it's a very attractive development. And I think they're ready to roll this out. I think they've told baseball, we're ready to do this. But they're going to have more than a kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't worry, we'll take care of you when the time comes. And so that may have happened somehow behind the scenes. You know, and again, the Tampa owner, I think, will be part of an ownership group in Montreal if this is the way it plays out.
Right.
So maybe they've been told a little bit more, and then this is just some kind of cover, but to get them out of Tampa. But again, 2027, there's a lease there. I don't care how few people are going to those games. It's going to go to court.
How will this affect attendance in Tampa?
Yeah,
sorry. That's how it affects it. It doesn't.
Wow.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
You can fire a cannon through those games now and not hit anybody.
With a very good team.
With a team that's going to the playoffs.
This is embarrassing, though, for Major League Baseball, is it not, at this point where you have a good team, a team that may play playoff games? I mean, it's been there before, but the numbers are worse than they were before.
Yeah, and what you were kind of hearing through the baseball folks is that baseball has finally kind of hit a last straw moment here, where they said, look, this is a very good Tampa team on the field. It's a competitive team, first place team, second place team in the AL East, and nobody's showing up, right? Nobody's showing up for these games. And I know no one has shown up historically, but it would appear that we have gone past some kind of a tipping point. So then they throw this out, this sort of trial balloon, although it's not much of a trial balloon. But I think the signal that they're sending is very, very clear, which is, this status quo is not going to do it here.
So for all the baseball fans in this country who are watching this, and I've heard story after story or read a bunch of speculation out of Tampa and Oakland, and it looks like Oakland are way further along to getting a stadium than Tampa.
And all of us have all three of us at this table have poo-pooed the idea
at some point
that this would come back.
So if you're a Canadian baseball fan watching us at home right now or watching this online, you're not poo-pooing anything.
No, it's going to happen. I really do. And I think it's going to happen. I have sensed that the guys involved in the group in Montreal, so Stephen Bronfman, Mitch Garber, people, that Blair and I know from different, parts of our lives.
Right. Yeah.
I've just sensed a difference in their confidence level the last 2 years. And, I thought at the beginning it was kind of pie in the sky, romantic, wouldn't it be cool? But in the last couple of years, and, again, quietly they have secured a site. They've got some of the politicians on side. The mayor of Montreal is on side, I think. I just sense these guys don't mess around. They've
done it the right way.
Well, they've been quiet, right?
Yeah.
They've done that, but it's
the anti-Jim Ball silly strategy.
Well, I'm not sure that there was a winning strategy for Jim Balsillie to do what he wanted to do. I think that was the only way he was ever going to get to do it. Was to. I don't think the NHL was going to let him put a team in Hamilton, no matter how nice he was.
Okay.
But in this case, I think they played their cards correctly. They have lined things up. They're credible, right? They're credible people. They have resources, and they have let this thing play out. But it's got to play out on the Tampa side. Like, I don't think you're going to hear. I know you're not going to hear. You will hear nothing out of Montreal today, but you may hear something out of Tampa from the Tampa owner, because until he speaks, I don't think the Montreal guys are going to say a thing.
Crazy to think Montreal, Toronto, American League East, but it could happen.
2028,
and this is the
maybe
start
before.
of it.
Apparently, ownership have a news conference scheduled for next Tuesday.
The Tampa ownership?
At a museum in St. Pete's, not Tropicana Field. They're going to speak at someplace in St. Pete's next Tuesday.
At a museum?
I read a museum.
Right.
All I'm saying, and you know me, I love a good museum.
Where they may honor the past of the Tampa Bay Rays in the near future.